What's up, everybody? It's your boy Rio. This is my wife Kyra, and we're back with another episode of Marriage Madness. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about parenting. Yes.
Parenting.
See how this go? See? This is organic. This is raw. This is not nothing we wrote down, anything.
What's up, Damari?
So basically, we're going to talk about the differences we have when it comes to parenting our kids. We have 4 kids. I have my oldest son, who's 12, DJ. We have Damari, who's 9. We have Leia, who's 6. And we have Summer, who's 1 year old. A lot of times we run into little arguments about you doing this wrong. You shouldn't be talking to them this way. And the one parent that's talking to the kids doesn't feel like their tone is off when it comes to the kids, but the other parent feel like it is. So that's where we're going to be going today with this topic. So I'm gonna let my wife start because I'm golden when it comes to parenting. But I'm gonna let her rock out.
Let him tell it. He don't have no flaws whatsoever. But we seen what happened in the communication episode, so let's roll with it. I would say, like, most of our arguments come from parental differences, honestly. How can I don't know. So basically,
she is, I'll go. I'll let you know why she's struggling to answer this. The reason why she's hesitant to answer is because she's very lenient when it comes to these kids. Like, very, very lenient.
You got some
They
nerve.
get away with bloody murder. They get away with a lot when it comes to her.
No. So if he thinks that about me, what I'll say about him is he's strict. He's selectively strict. There's some kids that he's more strict on than others. And there's some kids he let him get away with bloody murder. And I don't really appreciate that because it kind of goes against everything I do as a parent when he's not here or when he's not around, if that makes sense. So we always have this little debate. I know people say you shouldn't have favorites as a parent. And for the most part, it's not even about favorites. You just have a different relationship. But our first daughter is his favorite. I don't care what he said.
It's not true.
That is his favorite.
They are my favorites, to be clear.
So we'll just talk about her, their relationship, and what goes on. She is very spoiled. I would say that. But she is the most responsible one. She is his ride or die. She hold him down to the T. So maybe that's why he is the way that he is. But there's certain things, like she's growing up. She's growing into herself. There's things that she does that needs to be corrected. When I say she's spoiled, I don't blame her for being spoiled. It's what we did. And then now as a child gets older and it's not acceptable, you have to kind of redirect them, which is like my goal now, to redirect her, because I don't want her to grow up with certain characteristics that we should have corrected. Let him tell us she does nothing wrong. So, like for me, I know that our kids are very entitled, all of them. They don't have a sense of having to work for anything. And they're very young too. So I'm not saying like we entirely dropped the ball, but now is when I feel like we should start putting that into their values and their morals, like knowing they have to work for stuff, like you just not, go get stuff just because you ask. You gonna get in trouble when you do something that you have no business doing and you know that you had no business doing it. And for me, as I am trying to instill this newfound parental strategy, he be trying to step in. And I think that is where we clash at sometimes, because one thing that we both do that I think is completely wrong, and I think we know that, and we're learning to not do that, is when we have an issue, while that parent is chastising or talking to that child, the other parent that don't agree kind of steps in like, what's up? Like, what's the problem?
Because we both looking for clarity on the situation. We're
Yeah,
trying to see what's going on.
But
speaking for myself.
Well, right, because you do it more than I do. But
shot. That was a shot.
You do.
That was a shot.
You do. And I try to explain to you, like, if you have something to say to me, wait till after. And wait till we are not around the kids, because they feed off of that. And they have used that to play on both of us, and now we fighting back and forth, but they know what they was doing. So
a lot of times, let me speak on that, because a lot of times when I step in, when there's a situation, I'm more so, hold on. I'm just like, this is how I come in a situation. I'm like, what's up? What's going on? And I'm not talking to my kids. I'm talking to my wife.
Yeah, but why would you ask me what's going on in front of these kids? Like,
because if you're yelling at them, they're still my kids. They're still my kids. I want to know what's going on. Let me fill out why you're yelling at them. Let me know if you have a legit reason to be yelling at them.
Not legit reason. You need to trust me to know that I'm handling my kids the way that I need to handle them. And then if you have an issue or if you want some clarity, you ask your wife behind closed doors, not around these kids. No, I need
to, in the midst of, if I'm here and let's just say, okay, my kid was just around me 2 seconds ago, and then they come around you 2 seconds later and you're yelling at them. Hold on, wait, what happened in those 2 seconds? Because my child was just upstairs with me. Why are you yelling at them right now? That's how I come off. That's where I'm coming from when I approach you like that.
And that's understandable, but I don't like it. And I don't feel like it's appropriate. Because
and we've talked about this. We've talked about it.
You're right.
When you yell at the kids now, I step back a little bit. I'm still right here. But I step back just a little bit to let you get it off. And
okay, so like my issue, like I said, the kids will play on it, because like now it's to the point where my daughter don't even ask me for stuff. She goes straight to her dad. Why? Because she don't want me to say no. I'm the parent that'll say no. And she'll go and ask him, like, even if we're here in the house, she will call him, she will FaceTime him at work and ask him instead of asking me. And I think that we created that barrier because they know that we don't be on the same page sometimes. So if they can get what they want, knowing that we ain't gonna be on the same page, that's what they gonna do. Her especially.
Do you think it's a barrier, or do you think that it's more she fears asking you for something because she fears that you're going to tell her no? You're not even going to, then how can I put this? You're not going to even listen to what she's asking. You're immediately going to say no. Do you think
it's a fear of me saying no because she wants what she wants? So if I say no and she know that that's no, she's not gonna get what she wants. So I'm asking my dad because I know he gonna say yes regardless. That's what it is. You playing on the fact that I'm a little bit more firm with her. I am a little bit more firm with her because I feel like there's some things that need to be corrected with her especially. But he don't see that. So with that one specifically, we have that issue because all kids have different personalities. As far as my youngest, like, that's my baby. He said he not giving me no more kids, so
it's a fact.
that is my baby. And granted, she a little bit more rough than them. Like, she go toe to toe with them and she be wrong, but she's still a baby, so she has time to learn. I'm not as hard on her as I'm gonna be as hard on a 6-year-old, but he is very hard on my baby.
She's a bad baby. You know how you be talking to that little kid? Bad baby. No, no. This is what we do to Summer all day. No, no. Stop, Summer. Bad baby. And she like, leave my baby alone. I'm like, man, she is bad.
And I just feel like, keep that same energy when these other kids do stuff. When your favorite do stuff. Like, keep that same energy. You'll never say, no, Leia, don't do that. Like, it's very rare that you're correcting her for anything. And like, for me, that's not true. I'll just bring an example for it. So when I say that they're entitled, like, my kids don't know how to wait. They want to hear a yes right away. They don't like in a minute. That's the same thing as waiting. They're just very entitled. What they want is what they want right away. And also they rarely know the word no. So as I'm like blossoming and like learning myself and going through life, there's certain stuff that I don't want my kids to have to experience or deal with without me preparing them for it, if you know what I mean. So sometimes, like, I've gotten to a place where I'm going to say no because I feel like they have to understand that you're not going to get everything. And it's not that that's my valid reason. But for him, there needs to be more of a valid reason. Like, there was one time my daughter had asked me, because she likes sweets. So we would buy those brownies in a cup or cake in a cup or whatever, and she asked me for it, and I said no. She didn't have her dinner yet or anything. I didn't tell her any of that, but I just said no, like, no, not right now. That's what I said. I didn't say no like that, but I'm like, not right now. So you don't agree?
I think you was a bit aggressive when you said it.
No, I wasn't aggressive when she asked me. Then she came downstairs, and I didn't know she asked her dad, or maybe, no, I didn't know she asked him until I came down. When I came downstairs, she had her brownie in a cup with ice cream, and she was eating it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that she asked you, though.
Yeah, but that's not the issue. So now she has her brownie in a cup and she's eating it, and I'm livid because you knew I said no. You old enough to know that that's not right to go and ask your dad after I said no. So I do yell at her. And I'm explaining to her that she knew that I said no. But before I can even get it out to talk to him, I'm talking to her. I'm dealing with her right now. He jumps up like, what are you talking about? I said she can have that. I said yes. And I said she couldn't. He tells me in front of her, you just saying no. You don't even have a reason to say no. Why did you say she can't have it? How are you, as my husband, we as one, I love these kids just as much as you love these kids, but you go come check me about the reason why I have to say no. Like, I have to have a valid reason to say no for you to be okay with the fact that that's this decision that I made. And that's the kind of stuff that you have done, because we've gotten better.
In my defense, I did not know that you already told her no. So if I had already made her the brownie in a cup and she came downstairs and you came downstairs and she already had it, you yelling at her is red flag for me, because why are you yelling at her? Like, what are you doing that for?
But even after I told you, I said no.
Because I already told her no. Okay, I didn't know that.
But that wasn't your response.
Yeah, but I didn't know that when we was going back and forth. You didn't tell me that until after the fact.
Yeah, you're right. So when he jumps up and says all of that, you know, I'm like, what does it matter? Like, I said she can't have it. That's when we talked about it, but we had already had like a spat. But I feel like, again, when it comes to these kids, we don't always have each other back. So it creates that kind of atmosphere. As far as like the other kids, like we talked about the two girls. It's crazy because my son really don't have.
He stayed to himself.
He stayed to himself. He don't give us no problems for the most part. One thing he don't like is, because he has challenges. He has some challenges where he really just don't like people in his stuff. Like, he'll play with his siblings, but on his own time. And with that, like, I feel like to a certain extent, we have to give him that, because we know, like, they come in there and he like his stuff a certain way and they be moving stuff, and that really bothers him. So when they initially coming in there and stuff and he's like, get out, like, I don't want y'all in here, I'm okay with letting him have that to a certain degree. He's not okay with that.
I'm not okay with him being mean to his sisters, 1. 2, I'm not okay with him not knowing how to share. Not just with his own siblings. That affects him outside of this house.
But let's be real. How often do we have company and he have a problem with sharing? He don't, when we have company, if his cousins and stuff are over here, he don't tell people to get out. He don't kick people out. He shares.
But that's what I'm teaching him. Like, you can't be mean to your sisters, and then when you want to go into your sister's room and y'all want to play together, that's okay. But when it's time to go into your room and play, you're not okay with that. That's not cool. Yeah. He has to learn that you got plenty of toys in this room. You can share 2 or 3 of these toys for a couple hours. I tell him every day, this is your room. These are your toys. They're going to leave eventually. And when they leave, you have all your stuff back to yourself. Sometimes he understands it. Sometimes it's hard for him to grasp. But I understand my son Damari, because that's just him. And I get it, but I try to teach him what?
Let me talk. So, I don't disagree with nothing that you're saying. But I guess where I'm coming from is we go back to the middle child. Leia got middle child syndrome. She don't like to play by herself. She don't like to be by herself. Throughout the day, she is either wherever I or her father is, for the most part. And if we want some time, it's like, Leia, go play by yourself. Now she wants to go bother her brother. And it's to the point where now, Daddy, can you tell Damari to let me play in his room? Daddy, Damari won't play with me. But it's just like...
She asked, Dad, can I play with Damari?
So,
and I'll let her know. Right now, Damari's doing his own thing. You need to go in your room and do your own thing. What?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Okay, go ahead.
Any time for the most part is, you need to play with your sisters. Them your sisters. You don't need to be mean with your sister. I'm not okay with that. And I get that, but I feel like for me, I look deeper into it. It's not just my sister want to play with me. It's more so she know this child that we have. I know that she knows she gonna get her way regardless. Sometimes she want to go in there to bother him just because she want to play with toys that he playing with just because.
Yes, you know, I'll give you that. Sometimes she just wants to be annoying, but
you don't check that.
I don't think she wants to be malicious every time she goes in his room. She's not going in his room to annoy him every single time.
Yeah, but
I give you 50-50. She may do it 50% of the time, and the other 50% of the time, she actually wants to play with her brother.
And I get that. But I feel like there has to be balance. You say that, but there's never really, if you do, it's maybe like 1% of the time where you like let him have his time.
What?
It's very, very, very rare.
Yeah, I 100% tell my daughter almost every day, go do your own thing for a little while. Let your brother play by himself. Like right now, he's not playing nothing that requires 2 players or something like that. It's more so, go do your own thing, and maybe later y'all can play with each other. Give him his time to himself. Tell me I'm lying.
You lying. I said a 1% chance. It's more of a, you better play with her, than it's more of a, I understand you need your time.
You gonna agree or disagree?
But that'd be that.
I do not do that.
So, with the oldest, it's a little bit, harder with co-parenting because he's not here. So we really don't have too much of a spat.
Yeah. My oldest is just into video games and PS4 cards. That's the gist with him. That's it.
But I just feel like And you other parents, I'm sure you can relate. It's just sometimes a parental difference put a strain. Because if I'm beefing with you about you not respecting my authority with these kids, then I'm not giving you none that night.
I thought you were talking about giving me respect, but then I had to click like, oh, that's what she's talking about.
Like, because I'm mad now. Sometimes I feel like the arguments are unnecessary. We just have to have, like I said, a balance. Like, I'm not saying you're gonna agree with everything. I'm not gonna agree with everything you do, everything. You're not gonna agree with everything I do. But the whole checking each other in front of the kids, like, I think that's out.
I mean, that's been out. I stopped that.
Yeah, for the most part, you have.
For the most part?
Yeah.
What do you mean for the most part?
We still have little scenarios sometimes where I just be like, relax, like, I got this.
Okay.
And very well so. I'm not perfect either. I'm saying he does it more than me, but I've done it as well. Especially like with my son and like what we talked about.
And
I'm like,
with
yo.
the baby.
And with Summer. Absolutely.
Hey, Daddy said lay down. Dude, why she gotta lay down? Like, what? She need to lay down. It's time for bed. Well, let me just rock her to sleep. No, she's one. Put her in the crib. She good.
He not giving me no more babies, so I gotta save her. She growing up fast, man. She getting grown. Let me have that.
Nah, man.
But I think we talked about our disagreements and where we differ more than enough. What do you think? No, I'll start. I think that you're very attentive, and I love that. You don't get caught up in your phone, like, you know what I mean? Like, you will put everything to the back burner to figure out what's going on with these kids and what they need, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
I'm kind of jealous because I've always talked about, I'm always on a go. I wish that I am as attentive as you are and as patient as you are. And I'm working on that. Like, I want to get there. So I know every day is a journey. But, you know, I'm trying to get that balance. And I did want to tell him, like, regardless of what we don't agree about, I have to give him that. He's very attentive. He's very patient. My patience is like this, and his patience is like that. But I appreciate that, and you know, I can only hope to get to that place.
Thank you. What I could say about my wife is, man, she's amazing, man. When it comes to these kids, she makes it happen on a day-to-day basis. I'm at work 8 to 9 hours a day. She's here with the kids. She's making sure they eat, making sure they bathe, making sure they brush their teeth every day. I can't even imagine being around my kids 24/7 with just chaos, you know what I'm saying? And she deals with that on a day-to-day basis. And I told her before, I had my kids one full day for a dentist appointment. Then we went out to breakfast. Then we went a little shopping for the kids. It literally wore me out. And that day I came home and I told my wife, I was like, yo, I appreciate you. I love you to death. You are truly the best thing that ever happened to me and these kids. Like, without you, I don't think this house would even function right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a great dad, but sometimes I have my breaking points where I'm like, I'm just tired. I'm tired of dealing with these kids, man. Going y'all rooms. Like, let me drop y'all off at my mom's house or something like that. But my wife deal with this on a day-to-day basis. There's been times where we argued. I came home and I didn't understand why it was a mess here or it was a mess there until I actually was home all day with the kids and had to deal with them all by myself. And from that day, I knew that I would never come in this house and complain about a dish being in the sink, a toy being on the floor, nothing, because I know it's not easy. And together we just, I don't know, together we just make it happen.
Yeah, you're strong where I lack, absolutely, and I feel like vice versa.
Yeah.
Like we, despite the disagreements and, you know, the differences, we work past that, and you have to also look at the silver lining in it all. And like he said, like, I can't imagine, you know what I mean, not having him in the space that he stands where I cannot stand right now. And that I truly, truly appreciate, and I'm so thankful for it. And I'm blessed to have a husband and a father to my children that, you know what I mean, he hold it down. Like, this is my king right here.
This is my queen.
So I think with this episode, like, I want the viewers that take something from it to know, like, you're not by yourself when there's differences, or especially, you know, especially with kids, because it's a lot. Responsibilities. You have a responsibility as a mate. Right. You have a responsibility as a mother by yourself. You have a responsibility as a whole. Mm-hmm. And it's never going to be 100% easy. But like, we have gotten to a place now, for the most part, where we can talk about our differences. And it don't always be like the last thing we talked about, agree to disagree. But I can also appreciate you in our disagreements, because right. You bring a lot more to the table than what I was mad about. So I hope that this episode, you could take away from that is to write a list, if you have to do it for yourself, about the things that your mate does as a parent, if you have parental differences, that they do amazing. You know what I mean? And write a list about things that you possibly want them to improve about. And I'm pretty sure with that working balance, you'll realize that it's, you know, you got a winner. Yeah. And that, you know, it's worth, as long as you guys can sit down and have a respective conversation, it's worth
so much more.
Right. So for me to take away from this, I feel like understanding his point, maybe I'm not gonna be as, you know what I mean, strict. And I'm a yeller. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, I'm a yeller.
She's not a yeller. Like, she's not a yeller. She'll say her piece, and then she'll be like, "Why you talking to me? Stop talking to me." All right.
But I just, you know, plan on using this to stay in this space and work together to just make our family what it's supposed to be.
We've dealt with arguments that lasted 30 minutes. We don't let our disagreements last long.
But that's another episode for another day.
That's just time wasted. When it comes to that, it's time wasted. So
that's true.
We realize that what we're arguing about is not even that real. So
I can hold a grudge. He can't. Like, my husband don't play about that silent treatment and stuff like that.
Nah, I don't do that.
He don't do that. He
ain't what we doing? What we doing? Oh, all right, come here, give me a kiss.
But yeah, so we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We hope that we talked about something that you can relate to. If not, we are accepting topic requests, situation requests, suggestions at our email. It's marriagemadnessyt@gmail.com. Everything will be completely anonymous. Like, we ain't gonna just say this email came from this person. Right. Like, it's just for, you know, more content, because we want to.
And we're going live soon.
We will go live soon for that interaction.
That way we could talk to the people in real time, get real feedback from everybody. So we definitely looking forward to that.
Right. So if you haven't already, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment if you got something to say. We appreciate it, and we'll be back with another episode real soon. Peace.
Peace.